and the ancestors are looking out for us. Todd Hayes is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under it. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you're just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you're tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Flown lesson. Peace.
Young
Unto you.
TV.
Hit that like.
El Razaku, El Razaku, Anu. Hey, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're about to crack heads and twist caps for my early birds. Get the early birds, get the worm, you heard me? Hey, Robot, we here to talk to you about the momentum shift. We taking over. We controlling the game. Michael Jordan style, right? Michael Jordan was one of the gods of momentum. Now, we here to give you some free game and drop some game on you. Now, as we were cracking heads and twisting caps and we getting the momentum back, we was observing the game and we said to ourselves that in every game, in every sport, they have what they call a referee. In basketball, they have referees. Football, they have referees. Baseball, all the sports. Even in what you might not think is a sport, the court system, they have a referee. The judge is supposed to be the referee in the court system, right? So it's referees in all the walks of life. Now, Tahiti, you know, the referees were the white and black. Keep that in mind because it's going to come back up. The white and black. Why do the referees wear white and black? And then they have like a head referee who wears a white hat in the NFL, I know. And I don't really watch basketball that much no more. But I used to watch it a lot when Michael Jordan was playing, right? We're going to get into that. We're going to get into a lot of analogies here, bright and early. So hope you got your hard hat on. If you got your ball cap, you might want to take it off and lay it on the dresser because we're about to roll ball caps down the street. Your ball cap might jump off and explode on this one right here. You know what I'm saying? We crack heads and twist caps over here at Young Elder TV. Now, the referee has a whistle, right? Because we used to say, man, I'm official like a referee with a whistle. You know what I'm saying? My shoe game is official like a referee with a whistle. Right now, in the court system, the referee judge has a gavel. The gavel is his whistle. Now, keep in mind, this you're gonna understand how they got us, and it's gonna tie into what Rod was going over with the cowboys and aliens and cowboys and Indians and outlaws. Right? What they did is they came over here and became the referees, and then once they became referees, they started adding their own rules to the game and changing the game. They changed the game by becoming the referees. I'm gonna give you one example of how they put a block on us once they found out who we was. It was a being by the name of Allen Iverson. So a lot of y'all might not be sports fans, so y'all might not be familiar with some of the analogies. But some of y'all who are sports fans, y'all remember AI. Keep it in mind, AI. Allen Iverson, right? When Allen Iverson came, he had a crossover that when he hit Michael Jordan with that crossover, the referees eventually they said, "Hey, he can't do that move. It's traveling." They had added a new rule to the game, and they said you can't do that because nobody else, like, we ain't never seen it. It's new. You can't do it because can't nobody stop that move. And I'm gonna tell you, they nowadays in the NBA, I heard who was it? It was one NBA guy that said that the NBA guys now couldn't play back then, and that's probably true because he said it was a more tougher game. I think it was Kevin Garnett or somebody that said that the NBA players today couldn't play back then. That might be so, but I bet you the NBA players back then couldn't play with the guys now. Why? Because these guys, they have adapted to the rules, because we always adapt. When they became referees and started changing the rules, we adapt to the rules, right? Now, at one point, when Shaquille O'Neal came in the NBA, they created that 3-second rule where you couldn't stand in the paint because, man, this dude's 7-foot monster. You couldn't nobody stop him. If he go down and stand in the paint, they just passing the ball. He got to do is turn around and right. So they say, oh yeah, we got to create a rule because we got to create some new rules. Stop this guy. That. And nobody gonna be able to stop this guy if we don't create a rule. You know what I'm saying? So they assimilated themselves, and it's all gonna tie into how they control the momentum, because momentum can mean a lot of things, but it really goes back to Murdoch, Michael. Everybody want to be like Mike. Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? Michael J. White. You know what I'm saying? They got all these Mikes. You already know these Mikes. Mike is the Murdoch. And he the number one king of Murdoch is the king of momentum. But keep in mind, Michael Jordan couldn't win, even though Michael Jordan was good and he was the king. He's the GOAT, right? He was the GOAT, they say, right? He couldn't win by himself. They had to bring in Scottie Pippen. They brought in, I'm talking about my 95 Bulls, 96 Bulls, 93 was cold too. I'm talking about 91 too. But I'm talking about my 96 Bulls. The greatest team, 96 Bulls is the hardest, the hardest put together, besides, when Kobe and Shaq and them came along. But I'm talking about the hardest put together during that time was 96 Bulls. But Jordan couldn't win by himself. That's why it said in Revelation chapter 12, verse 7, Michael and his angels. See, Michael couldn't win by himself. He had to have his angels. One of them angels, if we want to do it in reference to the Bulls, Chicago Bulls, one of them angels were Scottie Pippen. Another one of them guys was the dude they always labeled as crazy, but he was getting rebounds and saving the games and creating a momentum shift. Dennis Rodman. A lot of these analogies people can't relate to. Yeah, Michael Jordan. Yeah, we could get into that. Shabazz say that he was with these. He was part of these Moors, these tall guys who came down from Mars. Some people can experience a growth spurt. A lot of y'all got the tall gene. It's just that you don't activate the tall gene. Like so you might have some people that come out tall in your family. And it's because they activated the tall gene. You may have the tall gene. Now, how you activate the tall gene is you got to stretch. These people, most of these people, when they get into basketball, if they got the tall gene, boom, they might experience a growth spurt like in middle school, where they just get tall all of a sudden because they stretching and they jumping a lot. They end up in the morning, they stretching their body every morning. A lot of y'all don't get up and stretch every morning. right? For like 30 minutes, just stretch every day. Start stretching your limbs. It'll get you taller. If you got the tall gene, it'll activate that tall gene, right? But that's another class, right? Activating the tall gene. Well, some of us are twi, right? So we don't got the tall gene, that's another part. Hey, Rob, hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, man. So momentum, we here to talk about momentum. Now, momentum can break down. I heard so many different perspectives on it, and we collected those perspectives. One, like I say, momentum, it could be more to the mental, right? More to the mental. And it also break down as three different gods. Well, at least two different gods, because Mo is another short for Murdoch, who is Mulak. They call him Mulak in one culture, Mulak. And then they got the god Men. The god Men is an ancient Kemet, right? And then Tun, or Atun, which is the same to say as Amun or Atun, which is all Murdoch too. Go back to Murdoch. That's why I said Murdoch, Mikael, is the king of momentum, right? He's the king of momentum. Now, remember doing like Michael Jordan, he used to come back in games. Why? Because he got the momentum. Momentum is dealing with timing. We already talked about this timing when we talk about searching for a cue, right? Searching for a cue. When somebody in the NFL game, when somebody, like I saw, I was watching not the NFL, it was college football when I was watching Lil Dion, Shiloh them, and in Colorado, right? And I saw him throw an interception, like right, they was in the end zone. He threw it. It was coming out the other people's end zone. He threw an interception, and the guys got the ball. Man, they really got the brakes beat off of them by Nebraska. Nebraska wasn't playing around with Dion them last week. They control the momentum the whole game. They control the timing. Because being that we in a movie, it's on a timer. The photon belt is on a timer. It's 26,000 year timer. And then we're dealing with the 24 frames in 1 second. And then the reason for that is because we got the 24,000 mile circumference of the planet. So we on a timer. Once you figure out the timing, you can't nobody you can really beat anybody at anything. If you got a timing on what you're doing, you can beat anybody on anything. I remember this game called Tecmo Bowl. And we're gonna talk about tempo too. It was called, some of y'all old heads, some of y'all youngsters might not know nothing about this because y'all got the new joints, right? The new joints. But back then, a long time ago, when some of the games first came out, they had what they call I forget what the name of the game was, maybe the device that it was played on, but it was called Tecmo Bowl. It might have been Super Nintendo. They had a thing called Tecmo Bowl. It was a football game. And they used to have Brett Ford on there and everything, right? Now, my cousin, he used to always beat us until I figured out what he was doing, right? So he figured out that, hey, this game got a time on it. And if you can pick the same play that somebody picked at the same time, and then you can say that you can stop them any play they do, you can stop it because you can pick the follow their timing. So once I figured out that, it's a time on this game, so you gotta control the timer. You got to control the timer. That's why when some of the coaches, the good coaches, they control the clock. Control that clock. You control the momentum, right? That's why they get a lot of smart coaches when they up a couple points, like when Nebraska was up on Dion them. What they did is they ran the ball. They run the ball, run the clock down, control the momentum, right? So it's all about and the momentum also can mean like Bodie told me. He said we are a monumental people, meaning that we are one mind. We are one mind people, right? That's also part of controlling the momentum. Now let me get back to this referee thing. Because this how they got us on the land. They came over and changed the whole game by becoming the referees. So now they can rig the game for their team. You notice how, like, when you go to when other teams go to visit other teams, like say when the Chiefs go to, Cowboy Stadium, or Cowboys go to somebody else's stadium, the referees usually be more lenient towards the home team that they're working for, right? And I'm supposed to be like that because they really work for the NFL or the league, but most time they be lenient towards the team that they home team, and so they might be calling extra. Might be calling extra plays against the other team, flags and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And what a flag on a play is a penalty. And you could get in this life, you could get a flag on a play. They can set, and flags on the plays set you back, right? So we got people out here, they go out and they want to control the momentum because they got a thing called fast money, right? So they want to get that because momentum is dealing with money too, right? The god money, right? We can get into that too, but people want to control the momentum of how fast they get the money, and money got a currency to it too. And so they go out to go say, I got to get this money fast. 2, 3, I got to get 20,000 start doing this drugs. And then eventually one of the referees, they say, oh, that's a penalty because you can't get that. You can't get money fast like that. That's how they control our system. When we used to get it, we used to get everything like that. We used to have everything that we can just think it and it come to us before they came. They the ones say, oh, you can't do that. Remember, like I said, when Allen Iverson came out with that move and Jordan couldn't stop it. And they was like, man, he hit Michael Jordan. He the number one, show boy in the NBA with that move. We can't allow that. We got to come up with some kind of rule to say that he can't do that. Now it's a move. It's a move now. One of my favorite players, James Harden, right? It's a move now that James Harden do, like a little step back move. They really trying to, because it's like it's almost illegal, but they can't really come up with nothing to say, oh yeah, that's a move there. They can't be. We got to come up with some rule for that move. Because see what he'll do, he'll run, and then he'll some kind of way he stop with the ball in the air or something. Then he hop back and then shoot it. That move there is almost should be illegal. But then Michael Jordan, when they make all these illegal moves, we always find a way around it. That's why I said that the NBA players back then couldn't play right now. And like they said, the NBA players couldn't play back then. Yeah, they was more rougher back then. Them boys was elbowing. Man, imagine catching one of Shaq Bowles to the chin, man. I'm telling you, bro, you got to sit down about a quarter or two. You catch an elbow from Shaq. Because Shaq get the ball and then he go like this, boom, boom, with them elbows, man. I'm telling you, man, you get dropped, you go get dropped with one of them elbows. Talking about a 7-foot giant. And that's what the people was talking about. Oh, what a giant said. Man, the giants, all the extraterrestrial giants, they get swooped up by these 3-letter corporations so they can be put on stage. You remember, go back like Doc said. Go back and get that. Doc said he broke down the storyline of King Kong. And he said that King Kong was a giant gorilla with supernatural powers. And he said he was a powerful super god in his land. As long as he stayed in his land, he was a god. And they made sacrifices to him, and they gave virgins to him. And every time the Kong would come, they would say, "Oh," they would play the drums, boom, 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 and then Kong is coming, right? And then they would give Kong over his whatever they sacrificed, and then Kong would go off into the jungle, and do his thing, right? Until one day, Kong came and they gave him a Caucasian woman. He ran off in the woods with her, and then that started the quest of the Caucasians out to capture King Kong. Eventually, they captured King Kong. To make a long story short, by sedating King Kong with drugs. Sound familiar? Then they chained him up and put him on a boat and brought him over here. Except that in that storyline, we kind of find out we was already over here. King Kong was already over here. You know what I'm saying? Right? We can get into that too. Right? And then Doc said that when they got him over here, the reason why they was going to get him over here so they can make some money. They wanted to put him on stage. What they did to King Kong, they tied him up and put him on stage. Right. So all these super King Kong niggas like Shaquille O'Neal and you know Anthony Davis and all these you know guys who these big guys, they scooped them up and put them on stage. These three little to make money off of them. They paying these guys millions of dollars, right? And then he goes on to say also, Doc, the funny part about that, or Doc said, he said, that's you. And then he said he'll let you in his party, but you gonna be the clown, nigga. You're gonna be the clown. You're gonna be serving the drinks and pouring up and you know, passing around the little cheese on the toothpicks and shit. You know what I'm saying? Right? Yeah, they got King Kong. They got I saw that 9 Cross. How they try to make out. It's really subliminal too, though. They be doing a little subliminal, slick, little racial like stuff on the slick though when they be doing that type of stuff, right? But Michael Jordan, 23, my number, was he was the momentum king, and then he had the MJ fade that was work of art. And then Kobe took it and used it, right? Kobe developed it too, but Michael Jordan had that fade, man. When he do that fade, you don't know which way he gonna fade off, to the left or to the right. And by the time you figure out what side he faded out, he already fading so far back and shooting it. It's pretty was unstoppable. That move was unstoppable. The Jordan fade. The Michael Jordan fade. And Jordan, the reason why Jordan is the GOAT, is one of the greatest of all times, and as far as in the basketball, is because he controlled the momentum. Same with Dion, same with Prime. When Prime was the a cornerback in the NFL, Prime can control the momentum because he'll pick six and go back with it, and then he'll shut a whole side of a field down. Man, I remember when Dion was playing. Man, they were scared to throw to that side of the field. They wouldn't even throw. Now, who does this? They were scared to throw to that side of the field, man. Like if Dion over there, we just won't throw over there. You know what I'm saying? We just the whole side of the field. So he controlled the momentum. He controlled the timing. Or you know what I'm saying, by putting that fear into them that, hey, we can't throw over here. We can't throw on that side of the field because we're gonna get pick six. And ain't nobody gonna catch him once he get the ball. It's rare. He gone. Yeah, hey, he let you in his party, but you gonna be the clown. That's what Bible said. He let you in his party, but you gonna be the clown. You gonna be serving the drinks, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's going. Hey, so like we said, another thing about tempo, because Michael Jordan used to steal it. Like they'd be down, Michael Jordan steal the ball, go down, boom, dunk it. And so then when he dunk it, the crowd go, ah, right? Controlling the crowd control is part of the momentum. And like I say, Tahuti is one of the number one referees. Tahuti was one of the number one referees in this game. But going to the court system, that's what I was going to talk about. Also going to the court system, like I say, when they assumed the court system and took over the bar, right? And they became the referees, and they start creating the rules. And then also they bias. They bias, and it's pretty much a conflict of interest. How they took over the game, because they calling flags on the play, and they bias. They being paid to stimulate to the other side. It's just like say if you go to like a Chiefs game, and the chief referee is there, and the Chiefs then pay him under the table to lean towards their way on the game. So they're gonna be calling more flags on the other team and less flags on the team that on the Chiefs. And so if you go in the court, the DA, they're gonna be calling less flags on the DA. The DA can get up and badger the witness and do all this to the witness, and then when the defendant get up, the defensive lawyer, really, and lawyer, it's a whole other thing. We can get into that too. But when your lawyer get up to go argue, they throw a flag. Oh, he's badgering the witness. Oh, he's leading the witness on. Objection. They started throwing flags on you because the judge is buying the side of the DA because he really wants with the DA. That's how they get paid. It's all a game, man. Yeah, they planted agents. So and they foreigners, and they come over and assume themselves as the referees. And once you become a referee, you can be excluded. Like that's why they be trying to shadow ban Judge Joe Brown, because he was a referee and he know the game, and that's how he can call all these people out, like Kamala Harris and Obama and Bushes. He telling everything on the background. That's why they trying to label that man as crazy, and and say all this stuff about him, because he was a referee and he could see the game. That's why most people should become referees, and not just, I'm saying like go and be a sports referee. I'm just saying learn the rules to the game, because it don't matter if you don't know the rules. They say that it don't matter if you don't know their rules, they gonna hold them against you anyway, because they say ignorance is no excuse to the law. Ignorance is no excuse to the law. So if you come in there and you don't know the rules, it don't matter if you don't know the rules. You gonna just get held accountable anyway. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, your courts, basketball courts, tennis courts. Yeah, court is a place where games are played. Court is a place where games are played, and you don't think for a second when you walk up into their courts systems that a game ain't being played. I'm telling you, man. I'm talking about for real, for real. And if you ain't up to the game, you gonna be duped. Right? You about to get served, like Mark Brady said. When you go to they courts, and if you don't know the game, you about to get served. You're about to get served, man. I'm telling you. And they don't give a damn if you don't know the rules, like I said. So you gotta know the rules to this game. You gotta become a referee. Learn what the referees know. That way you can you can see what's going on with the game, and say, okay, all right, that's a flag on the play. And because they really they really doing all the breaking all the penalties. They don't under the Constitution, which they said that they swore an oath to. When you go in the courts, they don't do due process. They don't give you your Fifth Amendment, and they say, "Oh yeah, well they so slow and they don't know the game. We're gonna give them to waive their constitutional rights. We're gonna give you sign this. Come on, right in here." When they go in the ticket court, it's they like to label as criminal court, and they get you come on in there, come on in here and sign this yellow waiver sheet of paper, and you know what I'm saying, and just get in the line up like the rest of the cattle, so we can tax you and send you on out. So they get up in line. They don't know that you signed, you waived your rights, and so it's illegal. Traffic court is illegal, man. If you don't know the game, you can go get served. You know what I'm saying? I saw I'm lying somebody up. They say, "Oh, she said you had 3 kids, no child restraints. You had your expired insurance, and let me see that up there, 350, 150 per child restraint. Comes up about court costs $1,250. Get out of my court." I said, "Dang, man, they charging people $1,250," and a lot of this stuff people are agreeing to. Yeah, they agreeing to because they don't know the rules. They ain't these people that, and then they got into the game, and they deter us from being the referees. We were the referees. Big Mama was the referee at first. Really, Big Mama was the real referee. Big Mama called set the rules, right? Set the regulations, but regulations and rules really wasn't law. Really, we had family traditions and rules that we abided by, and laws on the land, right? But when they came over and assimilated this, they became the referees. They said, "Oh yeah, well, like I said, when they came over and started creating stuff, we were so smart and so innovative, we would work our way around it, like Mama Chief Bear, Mama Bear said. She said that, yeah, they came over with their religion and they forced us to do it under the Spanish Inquisition, but at night we would go in the woods and do our own thing in the middle of the woods, right, while they was asleep." And that's why it became those Salem witch projects and all that, right? Because we still kept our traditions under the table. And then eventually we had to go underground with our traditions. Some of the traditions went underground because masonry been over here for thousands of years. They gonna lie to you like Prince Hall is the first Nubian Mason over here. That don't even add up. Because how is that so? When John Hanson was a Freemason before Prince Hall's Lodge even came into existence over here. John Hanson, go look him up. He was the president before George Washington. They don't tell you about him. He was a Freemason before Prince Hall's Lodge. He was a president. In order to be the president over here, you had to be a Freemason. This even before George Washington, right? And so John Hanson was a Freemason in the Grand Lodge in Philadelphia before Prince Hall's. So how if they say it wasn't no black Masons, they calling us black, right? That's another gang. It wasn't no Nubian Masons before Prince Hall's. What about John Hanson? And I can go back farther than it. I got a book called Native American Masonry. It was already had 400 and some lodges over here. Yeah, he on the back of the $2 bill, right? Shout out to brother Atun. Yeah, he on the back of the two. Hit that like button. Yeah, hit that like, subscribe. Yeah, so they make up all these lies, and it's to me, man, when they just by saying the word Africa and then pointing us to Africa and then saying associating dark people with Africa, it's automatically a game to me because when we was all over the planet, and when I believe that we was over here first, man. I'm starting to think that much as we dig and the Smiths and stuff that come out about the Smithsonian Institute and how these people was, man, look, I'm telling you, these people did a lot. These people did a lot to 3-card Malias. They transfer animals to other landmass to say, oh yeah, that animal wasn't over from over here, it was over there. Then we anthropologists do research, find out, oh yeah, no, that animal somebody either took that animal over there or that animal migrated over there. Because that animal is indigenous to America, like the camel. Then they say, oh, the rhino. The rhinos were over here. The rhinos was in America. But then they say, oh, y'all, well, rhinos and elephants are indigenous to, but Queen Khalifa had elephants. If elephants are indigenous to America, and indigenous to Africa, and the first people that started selling, they say, over here, was Christopher Columbus. So how they get elephants over here? Who brought the elephant? Were the elephants over here first? It's a lot of stuff that they covering up, man. I'm starting to it creep you out once you start to, and then you go to that, you find out they blocking out 91% of the Grand Canyon, and you saying why? It's gonna come to find out, go down now. You find a whole bunch of Egyptian temples and stuff, and tombs, and the king, and you find out they bury kings, pharaohs down in the Grand Canyon. So how is pharaohs over here? Huh? I'm starting stressing. Hold on, pharaohs over here. How is that happening? If you're telling me, you know what I'm saying? It's more pyramids found in America than anywhere. Just in the United States. It's more pyramids found in America than the whole Africa. In the whole Africa. How does that add up? And they stepstone pyramids. And them pyramids, they lying about the dates. They had to be built around the same time when Imhotep was doing his pyramid. These people. Because we noticed that these people were they had corn over in ancient Kemet, over in Africa, ancient Kemet. They had corn, and corn is indigenous to America. So these people had to be going back and forth. They had to be the same exact people. They had to be the people over here had to be the same exact people over there. But I'm thinking that what happens is that what makes us different. We were the same exact people initially, but what makes us different is that some kind of upgrade took place, which is why they call this place the melting pot. The melting pot. Because I think different genetics were brought in to mix up this super genetics, which explains, and this ties into momentum. Because why do the U.S. Negroes dominate the world as a new, like all the Nubians around, out of all the Nubians around the world, the Nubians in America dominate as far as the top species. Now, if you was to ask my Hebrew Israelite brothers, they would say, "Oh yeah, because that's the tribe of Judah, and the tribe of Judah is the strongest tribe. They'll be in the neck of their enemy. They go into all the their whole breakdown, right? My Hebrew brothers,
right? So that's another perspective. But what I'm saying is why is this the superior Nubians in America? The superior beings that see in all of these activities, even in science and education, all these people want to come over here to be educated, even though we know the education system over here is, we know how that was set up with the Rockefeller, and all of them. But we are over here, we have most superiority as far as the domination, the rule of the nation. Now, one time they assembled a USA team of the best NBA players, right? And they went over, got their butt kicked by a couple teams. Why? Because they didn't control the momentum. It don't matter how good you is. One man against a group of men that's playing with the momentum, you can't beat them. That's why Michael Jordan had to he had to have other guys, and they had to play on the momentum. Even when they had all the other guys, even when Michael Jordan had all the other guys, he still had to play on the momentum as a team, on a timer. On a timer. A lot of street ball players can't play in the NBA because the NBA is on a different timer than the street ball. Right? A lot of street ballers just stay and one guys and things of that nature because they can't keep up with the pace of the NBA. So Sam Hammond Jeffrey, and keep in mind, Sam Hammond Jeffrey would be Noah's sons, and Noah is Utnapishtim, and Utnapishtim is Enki's son, and Enki is Anu's son. The Anunnaki, Anu, Raziel, and so that would make Shem, Ham, and Jeffrey grandsons of Anu, great grandsons of Anu, and grandsons of Enki. And so anybody that descend from those three families, including the Canaanites, are children of God, the Most High God. Think about that now. Ye all are children of the Most High God. And then the Israelites say, oh, no, he was only talking to us. He was only talking to the tribe of Israel only. Nah, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He was talking to anybody that descend from Noah. So he was talking to the Canaanites too. So the people, show you, listen up, you Hebrew Israelites, black Hebrew Israelites. So the people over in Jerusalem today, who you say they say they Jews and they not, okay, cool. But they still children of God. How about that? They still children of the Most High God. And who? And they some of them they got old type blood. Some of them in America now, they walking around thinking they white folks, but they really children of God. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man. Check your blood type. Yeah, so think over that. And so you got we can go into the tribes from, you say Japhet, that'd be the Greeks and the Romans and all of them. And then you got to keep in mind Genesis chapter 6 then stopped in Genesis chapter 6. It kept going for thousands of years. Extraterrestrials are the sons of God, angelical beings, were coming down and mixing in with humans. Still to this very day, we have reason to believe that Anthony Davis is connected with Enlil because he's 10 foot, 7 foot tall like the analogies, and he got the unibrow. These guys got unibrows. Enlil them. Enlil and Nu got unibrows. Inky didn't come out with the unibrow, but Inky got real thick eyebrows though because of these Dragonians. Hanushnim. They had real thick eyebrows, real thick scraped hair eyebrows. Yeah, but we controlling the momentum. We're controlling the game by putting up we shooting number jumpers. Like their brother Eddie House. Eddie House made 60 points in the game, and he shot nothing but jumpers. You know what I'm saying? Shot nothing but jumpers, man. So you got any questions? It says they are descendants of Japhet. Yeah, Japhet was a son of Anu, great grandson of Anu, grandson of Enki. So anybody that descend from Japhet are children of God. Anybody that descend from Ham are the children of God, the Most High God, Anu. Songs chapter 82. Because Enki is the one that saved Noah on the fish tomb by giving them the layouts for the one of the he had drew. Enki used to go in the lab, him and his son Tahuti and Murdoch. They was all over on Murdoch's side. We was always building things because that side was fat. And another name for Enki in ancient Kemet for you Natharu niggas to say y'all don't like the anarchies. All right, Ptah, the fashioner. Enki was the fashioner. Ptah is the fashioner. Ptah and Enki is the same being. Let's get that clear. So he came out of the primordial waters. Enki used to be all in the water. He had in ancient Kemet, the down south, which would be really north, he had what they call the Abzu, where he had 70% of his laboratory underwater and 30% above water. So Enki was a water being. His family, his mother's side, the Dragonians, they got cities underwater. And that's another thing. The people on land seem to think that they running stuff. Nah, bruh. You ain't gonna, you don't know what's going on until you go and you be able to go under the ocean and ride around and see how many cities under the ocean. It's more cities under the ocean than it is on water. I mean on land. And it's more beings in the water. It's 10 times more beings in the water than it was on the land. Now, if the water was, go back and watch that movie. They put out a movie. It's called is it Aquaman? Aquaman, where they show you all these they showing you all the kingdoms under the water. It's thousands of kingdoms. It's even fifth dimensional kingdoms that exist in a whole nother vortex that the government, when they ride their submarines down there, they don't even see these cities because they're in the fifth dimensional reality underwater. There's so many extraterrestrial races that live underwater, not even counting the fishes and all that. Yeah, it was Aquaman, wasn't it? When they show you all those kingdoms underwater. So and they was making ready to go to war with the surface. And they would have went to war with the surface, they would have took over because they outnumber the surface 10-1. The underwater. So the water world, this planet is not Earth. That's what they messed up at. Earth means dirt. This planet is more water than it is dirt. Right? So when you thinking that you the real earthling, or you the only earthling, or you the main earthling, you sadly mistaken. Why? Because the real earthlings are under the water. You're an earthling too, but I'm saying that the most it's earthlings that live under the water. Extraterrestrials that been here billions of years before humans. The reptilians. Those actually these reptilians, one name of them, one species of them is called the no most. Those who claim to know the most, right? And they the ones that came here and told you, hey, don't listen to these anarchies. Why? Because they were mad at the anarchies. Go back and read the Holy Tablets. Hey, Freedom Master Teacher, Dr. Malachi Z York. Hey, you can read the Holy Tablets for all the newcomers. The Master Teacher put out man, it probably gonna take y'all a while, but if you want to get a quick speed on things and with the go along with some of the anarchy tapes we got, you can read a book called The Holy Tablets by the Dr. Malachi Z York. And you can read that book for free in the links in the descriptions. Right? In the links in the descriptions. For free. So you want to read that book, and we got a lot of tapes out that'll help you, you know what I'm saying, get a visual of what's going on in the Holy Tablets. And we got more tapes coming out on that. He says, yeah, so keep in mind the water world is way bigger. It's thousands of cities. And some of them, like I say, are advanced cities. It's dome cities underground. You know, it's parts of the ocean that they haven't even that's so deep that they haven't even went down there yet. Right? It's like the Mariana Trenches. It's cities down there. It's because those are gateways to get into this what they call Shambhala or Ardea, the center of the earth. It's cities in the center of the earth, because it's actually more than 7 continents. They telling you about the 7 continents. They always tell us about 7 continents. It's more than 7 continents, because actually Hawaii was a continent within itself until it sunk. It was called Mu, and the 4 alliances species landed there. Now it was 4 species that made the alliance. They talk about these species for you Bible guys and for my Hebrew Israelites who don't think about, oh, ain't no such thing as extraterrestrials. What are you talking about? Man, extraterrestrials is all up and through the Bible. In Revelations chapter 4, verse 7, they talk about the 4 species alliance. Go read Revelations chapter 4, verse 7. They talk about the 4 species alliance. Who are the 4 species? It said one had a face like a lion. That's the feline beings. One had a face like an eagle. That's the Brulavians. One had a face like an ox. That's the Centaurians. And one had a face like a man. That's the Ananarchies, or the Riskians, and the Najarus, and the Germanians, and the Darkians, the things that guard the Akashic records. So it's different types of humanoids, and it's different types of felines, but those were the 4 alliances. And they made the planetary treaty to where nobody could invade Earth. All right, so it was so the dark skinned people who landed in Mu became known as the Muslims, right? They were the ones of peace. They were the Igigis, part of the Igigis, another group who landed in Mu, who were these Moors too, but they really weren't called Moors. They were called Muslims, meaning ones of peace. They were the peaceful Igigis. Because if you read the Holy Tablets, Bible tell you that some Naga beings came and they were benevolent. Benevolent mean they were agreeable or good beings, right? And these beings landed in the city of Mu, and they came to help the Ananarchies fight against these other beings who had landed in Aura of Chaldea, who were Etruscans, right? These tall, big, dark niggas with the curly hair, because they were mixed with Ananarchy. Because keep in mind, Shemgazu, Hela and them was mixed with Ananarchy, right? Keep in mind, hey, shout out my brother Randy Christian, man. Shamgazu was mixed with the Ananarchies, because his dad. Okay, so you got Tanush, because we talk about Tanush in the Riskian tape, right? Tanush is the one that used the aerosol bombs to blow a hole in the planet Riz atmosphere, right? All right, so Tanush was these humanoid Dragonians. He was a crossbreed that Mother Huber created. We'll get into Mother Huber on another tape. But we got an AI tape coming out talking about Mother Huber too. We got a whole book actually on Mother Huber that's going to come out, breaking down how she created the insects, how she was inspirational in creating the birds, and she created she seeded the Meldekians, and she upgraded them and added venom from crossbreeding poisonous plants, and then she's crossbred the birds back in with them and created the Dragonians, and then she also crossbred humanoid beings, these Hindus, in with them on Titan and Platoon, a Gaga, which is called Pluto, and it was an experiment going on there where she crossbred them to look more humanoid so that they can invade Risk, right? Because they couldn't invade Riz looking like dragons. They wouldn't allow to invade, so they had to look more humanoid, and that's how they was able to blend in and come to Riz and be on that one continent, right? So it's going back to we may be going too spaced out for my Hebrew guys. Hold on, we're gonna bring it back in for my Hebrew guys. Hold, what you got? It says Japhet white it out. Yeah, Japhet, he married, I think, Irish, which was one of Canaan's daughters, and produced Javan, the Javan man. Right, we'll get into that. We're gonna get back. Hold on for my Hebrew guys. I know we might be going too far out for my Hebrew guys. We'll go back come back. We'll bring it back. It says Esau missed his seed. Yeah, what Esau did is missed his seed with the Canaanites, and the Canaanites had a defected genes as far as the melanin recessive trait, it caused a defect in his seed too, causing them to be born with Down syndrome. Some of his people. Well, not say I can't never say it's Down syndrome, but his people got the Asian look too, the Edomites. And like I know the Hebrews say, oh no, the Edomites are the rednecks, right? Because it reads red man, right? We can get into that too, but we don't want to get too far off of where we was going. Yeah, so we get back to that after that dude question about the dark skinned guys that landed in Mu. All right, so so these ones that landed in Aura or Chaldea during Murdoch's wedding, and then once they began to travel out, the people who spoke a certain language said Mu Auras, one of Auras. But the people, the dark skinned ones who came to fight against them, the other Hindus who landed in Mu, where Hawaii is at, in Honolulu, that area got sunk by the reptilians during the war. It was a war between when the reptilians came. And more than just those dark skinned Muslims, the dark skinned ones who was of peace, more than them landed in Chaldea. It was a whole group. It actually was some feline beings that landed there. It was a couple of different species that landed that came to fight against these other beings. Because it was 200 captains, and they had a whole militaries under them. It was more than 200. He chose the 1/3. 1/3. Tanush took 1/3, and then when Haylock came, that 1/3 passed on to him. That's how you get these three, right? That's how you get. We go into because it's a deeper perspective. Let's go into this perspective where we got the momentum, right? Now you have what you call a nucleus in a cell, in an atom. This nucleus represents the throne of God. The throne of God is the nucleus, right? This nucleus is the neutral zone, right? So you have what you call neutraloids in the universe. This is that information right here, by the way. Shout out Mark Brady, man. This is that information right here, by the way. So that nucleus is the throne of God, and it's the central point. And we can go into the nucleus and break it down into 3 parts too, as well: the quark, the zillip, the biop, and then the biop 2 parts. Then the zillip we can go into it 3 parts, the pions. But this cell or this atom is broken into 3 parts. The nucleus being the throne of God. And you got a certain type of beings that guard that throne, which are neutral zoid beings. And then outside of that, you have the protons. The protons are referred to as the benevolent beings, or the agreeable beings, or the positive beings, because they refer to protons as positive. And these are angelical beings. These protons are angelical beings, light beings. And then you have the electrons, which are the malevolent, which are the cherubs. Another word for the protons is seraphims, right? Seraphims for my Bible guys. So the seraphims are the protons that go around the throne. They guard the throne. The throne is the nucleus. And then you got the electrons, which are the cherubims, and they put the cherubims on the outside of the gate. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? If you go back to the Bible, they tell you that Enlil placed 2 cherubims on the gate to stop Adam and Eve. Atom. I mean, we trying to walk y'all there. We almost ready to put this next level of information out. That's why we're giving you a little bit of it to see where you at. To go on ahead and give you the real deal. Because the Big Bang is when your dad, boom, into your mother. That's the Big Bang. The bang. You talking about you niggas talking about y'all doing some banging, right? Well, the Big Bang is when 777 million sperm count get released. Those are those beings. And the cell is 3 parts. Because if you go back at these we're gonna get into that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say that part. because I got a whole AI tape coming out on the call, the Big Bang. And we already put a tape out called the Big Bang. If you want to get some more information on that, go back and watch the Big Bang tape. We break down the Big Bang is your dad banging, releasing into your mother, ejaculating into your mother. It's the Big Bang. And you beings race to get to the Stargate so that you can come across to this side of the mirror. Because if you get a shot of that sperm, you'll see how small it is. But if you put it under a microscope, it's billions of beings living inside of that one drop. It's billions of beings. So on a microcosmic level, that's a whole universe. Look, they say it's 7 billion people. They say it's 7 billion people on the planet. Right? It's 7 billion people on the planet. Well, if it's 7 million beings inside of that one sperm count, that's like a whole a whole world. One little shot of stuff is like a whole world. I'm telling you, man. You got to think as far as on a microcosmic level. All right, so we're going back to the electrons going around the throne. So they said they put cherubims around the throne to guard the throne. You really can see the scientific part in the Bible when you start breaking it down. When you figure out the code is 3. That this whole the timing system, the first number that is based on is 3. Well, they say 2, but they didn't tell us this. It's really based on 1 and then 3. 1, 3, 5, 7 first, right? But they didn't tell us that. They said that, oh, nah, it ain't based on 3. It's based on 2. And that's why they gave us the lowest increment in time is the second. They gave us the 2, the second. They didn't give us the first, or they didn't give us the on the 3, which is like I say, this is based on. Like you got person, place, and thing. They tell you about God, and then the devil. Or they tell you that God is broke down into 3 and 1. This for my Bible guys. They say God is 3 and 1. Now some of my Hebrew guys don't go for that, right? The 3 and 1 joint. They say, oh, yeah, they got another perspective on it than the Christians on the breakdown of the 3 and 1 joint, right? Some of them, and I'm gonna tell you, a lot of the Hebrews, if you go up and listen to them, they coming out of Christianity, so it's like a blend. What they teaching is like a blend of Christianity and Judaism culture mixed together. That's what you're getting, and it's another reason for that too, because they don't know that some of them Hebrew tribes be beating down the ancient Egyptians. 2 of your tribes are ancient Egyptian tribes, the tribe of Ephraim and Manasseh. That was Joseph's sons. Joseph married the Egyptian chick. Moses married the Egyptian chick. Right? He called it Ethiopia. That's the same thing. Ethiopia and the Egyptians are the same people. Now we can get into, oh yeah, well, some of you niggas don't like the word Egyptian because the truth of the matter is the word Egyptian means burnt face. It says, who are the Hebrews though? All right, the Hebrews are the Moors. The Hebrews are the Moors, those who sailed across, those who crossed. All right, I'm gonna tell you who will be classified as a Hebrew. Abu Bakr was a Hebrew. He sailed across. Hebrew is not actually technically a race. It's an act. It's an act. What's another word I can say that'll be covered for that? It's not really a race. It's an act to mean to cross over, right? So the Moors are the ones that were doing all the crossing over, right? Abu Bakr, Mansa Musa, them, they were selling over here. You can even kind of classify Hoshin, who sailed over, who crossed over. He could be a Hebrew. Hoshin, right? And technically, you can really say Hoshin is Hoshin could be connected with the Hebrews because he could be connected with Esau. Esau was a Hebrew, even though Esau disposed of his seed, right? So, like I said, the Hebrews, the real Hebrews, are the Moors, and a lot of you are Hebrews. A lot of some of you are mixed with the Hebrews, and you became Hebrews by mixing with the Hebrews. A lot of you over here, but a lot, like I say, a lot of y'all got Mandingo. Mandingos were the Hebrews. They crossed over, the Melodian Moors from West Africa. So like I was talking about that yesterday when I was saying that Abu Bakr, when he came over here, he brought 3,000 Mandingo mans, and they stayed over here. They went back to one time and delivered gold to Mansa Musa, and then when Mansa Musa, his brother, then returned back over there, he became the Musa of the the leader of they tribe. He then sailed over here himself with thousands of men, Mandingo men, and they came over here and married into the Washita Indians, the Native Americans. Some people don't like the word Indian, and like I said, because I heard Master Teacher Taj Tariq Bey. Shout out Master Teacher Taj Tariq Bey. I heard him. He used to say that we ain't Indians, right? Because the word Indian applied to the people in Hindustan or India, right? But he got to think about this: the people he's saying that those people from India came over here and mixed in with us. That's why all you niggas got, some of you niggas got, don't got that 9 ether woolly hair. You got that curly hair, that 8.5 hair, because these Hindus, these people from India, mixed in with us. That's how we got the title Indian or indigenous or indigos, dark-skinned people, which is what Christopher Columbus wrote in his diary. Said that when he got over here, he saw indigo people, dark people. They didn't see nobody. They weren't over here. Christopher Columbus was one of the first. When they weren't even over here. They didn't really start coming over here hard until they got brought over here as servitude in 1715 by King George I. And then they was over here, working on the land, tobacco farms for the Moors, because the British, the redcoats are the Moors. If you go look at the tape I just put out called Cowboys and Aliens with Rod Hayes, right? You'll see that I put the redcoats on there, the British, and they go connect back to the Moors. Also, they connect back to ancient Kemet because King George III comes from that bloodline of Palestine. The Palestinians, the real Palestinians, are the Afar people, not the people they showing you on TV who fighting over the land. The people, that real people, they don't even show you on TV. When they show you Egypt, when they go over there and take the camera to Egypt, they don't show you these people. They show you Arabs, and they're not even really the original Arabs. They show you pale Arabs, and they say, "Oh yeah, these the Egyptians." Nah. Oh, these the Palestinians. Nah. They show you and they show you the people in Israel. They say, "Oh, these are the real people of that land." Nah. The real people of that land, the real Israelites, are Afar people. They were the ones that you see on the ancient wall in ancient Kemet walking with the Ark of the Covenant. The Afar people, the tribe of Dan. The tribe of Dan. They didn't want the tribe that which is my tribe, right? Because I'm a Williams. The Williams. If you're a Williams, a Jackson, a York, a Miller, a Tate, your last name Tate, Miller, Williams, York. Who else? I got the last name list, but you connect if your last name connected with them. Or Jackson, your last name Jackson. If you connect with those with that tribe, with the royal tribe, yeah, you're Williams. So you connect back with the Afar people. Us Williams can get them waves. We can get that way. We got that wavy hair. Go back and look at the wall in ancient Kemet and see they had niggas was rocking wave caps. They had waves. Those are the Williams. Fords. The Ford is depending on where you from. Ford, if you from Florida area, they Seminole. But like I say, Seminole is a mixed tribe, right? Because from according to what how Rod put it down is that during the Gullah Wars and during the Seminole Wars, a lot Big Mama said bump left. Noble Jew Ali said they bump left, right? Big Mama said bump left. So all hands on deck was on bump left. So with a lot of tribes, Chinnococks, Chickasaws, the Creek, which is Blackfoot, Muskogee, the Crow, the Chumash, the Apache, all them tribes ganged up and started to bump left, and that's how they backdoored us. That's what Roy talking about, how Lewis and Clark and them backdoored us, who actually was dark-skinned Moors. Lewis and Clark were dark-skinned Moors, and the story of Brokeback Mountain is about Lewis and Clark. They were two dark-skinned Moors who came to do expect, and they, like I said, they had Ben York with them, who actually Ben York, they try to say Ben York was a sellout. Yeah, Ben York because Doc said Ben York was a sellout, right? Even though that's his connection, he connected to Doc, right? But Ben York sold Lewis and Clark out and them too at the last moment when they thought they actually got tricked out of the land because they thought that they was getting all that land that they surveyed, and they only got a fire station downtown in New Orleans or something like that. It was something like that where Ben York had backdoored them because Ben York had a couple kids with chief daughters on the land, right? Ben York. So some people say, oh, Ben York was a sellout. They got his, Benjamin Banneker Bay. They got his feds in the Washington Memorial of all the niggas we bumped. So because we bumped a lot of cats for their feds. Some of these dirty Moors, they came over. Like, so for you newcomers just coming in that don't know about the Black Hand, and Rod really Rod really exposed the paradigm on it about these dirty guys, because the whole time we was under the impression about the Pocahontas, about y'all guys that don't know about the Pocahontas, and like I said, we breaking this in while we got the momentum. Pocahontas Montaoka was a dark-skinned Nubian Native American girl, right? And so they show us in the movies, under Horace Greeley and them, and Walter Plecker and the Smithsonian Institute, and the cover up of this, white gang. Everybody got to be white gang, right? They made Pocahontas into a Caucasian girl, but she was a Nubian, right? Okay. Now they got in the movie, they show us two white guys, John Smith, John Rolfe, coming over to compete for her love. Now come to find out, them guys in actuality wasn't white; they were dark-skinned Moors. I'm trying to get you over to what Rob was saying, because there was some people in the chat saying that what is he talking about these some dark-skinned guys? Those were white guys. No, the John Smith and John Rolfe them were Macs. Keep in mind about what a Mac do. A Mac come in there and a Mac on your girl. So they sent these Macs, and they coming out of these McDonald's, McDoodle. That's the Moors, and these Corsicans and these Truskians, and they call them the Black Conquistadors. The one of the names for them. They got a book out about them, right? These cats come over here as the Macs, and they write poems and shit, and say, oh, they talk like Romeo, thou for Romeo, and give women roses and shit. We didn't do that over here. You know what I'm saying? They come and give you a rose and give you a poem, and your hair sucks as rose petals, and it's the Macs, the Moors, and they even dress like the pimps, like you see them pimps like Don Juan and all them used to dress back in the day with the suits and the feather in their hat and all that. How Malcolm X was dressed, Denzel was dressed on the Malcolm X movie, him and Spike Lee, when they was beans and cornbread, and they walking through the in Harlem, right? How they were dressed, the Moors used to dress like that in the suits, right? And so check this. Speeding up, they came over here dressed like that with the cap. We ain't wear cowboy hats. We wore feathers over here and fezzes. We had fezzes over here though, because the fezzes, I can get into that too. How the fezzes was already over here. They wore cowboy hats. These niggas came over here in cowboy hats and cowboy boots. We didn't wear boots over here. We wore moccasins. We wore moccasins over here. We didn't wear. Go ask Rod. Rod will tell you. Go ask Rod. We wore because Rod talked about this before once on the tape before, where he talked about we didn't wear cowboy boots over here. They brought the boots and all that. We rode our horses bareback sometime over here. We had saddles though. We had a certain type of saddle, but it was made from it was made from buffalo hide, right? We had a saddle made out of buffalo hide. They brought these leather saddles and the leather this and that, right? And these cowboys, so we get into the cowboys, Indians, aliens, right? These Etruscans were the aliens. They were the cowboys and aliens. These Etruscans, they came out here with the Macs, and then they put this dude John Rolfe on Montaoka. And the whole game plan was, because it's another angle from what Rod told you. They whole game plan was from what like Doc said in the Let's Set the Record Straight book, right? He said that they were trying to tie themselves into the vine. Now, so what they did is they put this black dude, this Mac, and keep in mind these guys had sugar in their shoes too, because they came over here a whole bunch of niggas on the boat, and it took them like 9 months to get over here, and they were getting it on with each other. These niggas, and they been doing it. They ain't just start doing it when they had to be on the boat for 9 months. These niggas came from Mars. They were doing it on Mars for thousands of years. They were knocking each other down and going up each other, opening each other can. These 200 niggas, 200 fallen. You call them the 200 fallen, who were Moors. Dark-skinned niggas. Dark-skinned Etruscans. Leading all the way up. They the one that came down with had these Canaanites performing all these rituals in the caves, leading all the way up to them coming over here, making their way all the way over here to steal our land over here. Because keep in mind, Rod told you they don't got no home. That's why they always roam. Romans. They always roaming the land. Romans. Huh? Romans. We're gonna get to it, man. Hold up now. So they put John Roth, the dark-skinned Etruscan, the dark-skinned Moor, the Mac, on to Monteoka, who's the Parliament princess of the 5 tribes. Her dad was the chief of the Parliament, the head chief of 5 tribes, the Parliament chief. They call him the Parliament chief. It's like the Parliament chief is like when during the Iroquois Confederation, tribes came together. And this right here really is the foundation of your Constitution. And keep in mind, these people had already had influence from another group of beings called the Nagas. Now, if you look at a lot of Empress Rarebird's Pagalia might go over your head. If you look at Empress Rarebird's Pagalia, look at her feathers. She got a cobra on the front. Why? Because she's telling you that with that cobra, and now people gonna know with that cobra, she's telling you that we got Naga, we got the Naga beings, and these Naga were benevolent beings who landed in Mu. Going back to what the dude said, they landed in Mu. And they were the Musalams, the benevolent beings. Bible talk about them in the Holy Tablets. That these beings, the leader, and they came to help us fight against these other disagreeables. And these people build mounds. These Naga beings, these benevolent Naga beings they live in mounds underground. They build mounds. And thus you get Washita mound builders. That's another connection. We're gonna wrap it back to that. But I gotta get it on the Pocahontas story. So eventually, John Roth knocked her down, to make a long story short. And they really came over here to kidnap her dad. These Etruscans. They came to kidnap her dad and take him back to England to face the king. And supposedly, we knew what was going to happen. They was going to execute the king and then come back over here and try to take over. What they were going to do is they were going to take the king, bring him over there, and then get him to start putting seals on paperwork so they can start taking our land over here, right? But the king didn't agree to going. He wouldn't agree to going. So in order to buy time, Pocahontas, and this storyline happened several times in our history, where a woman always save us. A woman always save us, man. Cleopatra saved ancient Kemet from Caesar by sacrificing herself. Like Doc said that they put her in a rug, and she was one of them fine, thick, tall Amazon fine chicks. And they rolled out the rug in front of Caesar, and all the sugar went out of his shoes. He fell in love, wanted to have a kid by, right? She saved ancient Kemet from the total annihilation of these invasion, right? And to go into and it happened several times in our history. I can go over several other women that did this. That's like Mary Magdalene, according to the Jesus story. She was the only one that went to the tomb while everybody else, all the disciples, took off running. Right? Doc talk about that in the matriarch tape that he put out. Right? Another Pocahontas really put herself up for the whole land. She said, "All right, what I'll do is I'll go back with you." Right? Pocahontas said that I'll go back, and she was one of the daughters of Inanna, also on the land. Keep that in mind. She said that I'll go back with you. So, but you think that Pocahontas, a Nubian woman, left on a boat full of white boys? Come on, man. You got to be crazy. Like we let our Parliament princess go, and then she didn't leave by herself. She left with her entourage. Pocahontas had an entourage. So you think that she left on a boat full of white boys? No, she left on a boat full of niggas that looked like they had the skin, my color of my shirt, like my glad. Them niggas black niggas. And some of them still over here walking around. You ever see them niggas that real black? They really the Etruscans. Look, our skin is the same color as a penny. The Native Americans over here, you want to find out who they is, if you want to tell the difference between the Etruscans and some of y'all mixed in with it. We mixed in with these beings, so some of y'all could be dark and still be natives. But if you for the most part, the difference between us and them is we matched the penny. They was like black color, almost the same color as our shirt. These niggas here, these Etruscans. And so you think, like I said, you think Pocahontas left on a boat full of Nubians? No, I mean Caucasians. No, she left on a boat full of niggas. And they took her back to England, pumped a baby in her by John Rolfe, who became known as Thomas Rolfe, right? And they supposedly they threw Pocahontas overboard in Graceland, England. And then they say, okay, we're gonna use this kid, and we're gonna bring this kid back in it. We're gonna say that this dude is his cousin, and this dude is his uncle, and this dude is his this, and so this dude is by right. If he's Pocahontas' son, he's by right the heir to the 5 Parliament tribes. Therefore, we can go into Jamestown, set up us a small camp, because I'm kin to him. So that makes me part of this tribe. I'm kin to little Thomas Rock. It made me part of this tribe, right? So now then they said, that we were nice guys, and keep in mind, nice really means stupid, right? We were nice guys. That's what Thanksgiving is all about. We were nice guys, right? And so they come in and assume they really would have survived if it wasn't for us. And we allowed them to start marrying into our people to get the one drop of blood. When they start doing that, and this going into what Rob was talking about, when they start doing that, they then would have Big Mama whacked, start whacking because they one of their things on the land, one of their oaths was they were gonna take out the princes and kings on the land. That was part of the George Washington challenge, and that was it really go back before the George Washington challenge. It's part of the Zionist Jew oath of these dark skinned and Etruscan Moors. The learned elders of Zion is they protocol. These 200 fallen niggas. They didn't want that the Etruscans. This they protocol to exterminate the chiefs and the princes and the royalty matriarchs on the land. Come over here and take them out, right? Back then, because it was a conjure. It says, did you come here on a boat? Hell no, I ain't coming on no boat. I was already here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he says Sabine means in Mongolian descendant. Look, listen to what I'm saying. Okay, let's soulful. When you say Native Americans, then I think you mean to say you're talking about the Chinese. You talking about the American Indians. You're not talking about Native Americans or the naval Americans. You know what I'm saying? The indigenous people. You're not talking about when you say American Chinese, you're talking about American Indians. Now I can break that down too. See, what happens is we was already over here as the Armaks, Washitas, right? The Armaks over here first, then the Washita become mixed after the Muslims, after these Moors come and mix in with us, we become known as the Washita, which is the biggest, largest tribe in America, right? And then later on, like in 359, around 359, 400 AD, a being by the name of Hoshin, his whole part of his dynasty sails over to America and this is part of the Huns and all them. They sail over to America and began mixing in with us. This create what you call the American Indians. They are a mixed species of us, mixed with the Hoshin. And keep in mind, the first wave of these beings, this Hoshin that came over, they were dark-skinned Chinese or dark-skinned Asian beings. That's why if you go back and look up old pictures of some of the older tribes that when they first mixed in with the Asians, you'll see that they look blacker than us now. Some of them look blacker than your shirt back then, right? Because they was out here, they mixed in with the Moors. The Moors with that black. Yeah, so when you talking about Native Americans, we are the real natives on this land. The Chata, Washita, Armaks are the original people on the land. The American Indians, the ones they show you on TV, the $5 Indians, they came later. They even set up, Roy Hayes got a receipt where they set up schools to start training these people to act like us. They brought these people, some of them ain't even $5 Indians. I mean, some of them ain't even the original mixed species with Hoshin. Some of them were Filipinos and Chinese brought over here when they was doing the railroads and shit. And then they set up schools to train them how to act like us. Me and Roy got the receipts already, man. I'm trying to tell you. So it's a difference between Native Americans and American Indians. The American Indians got hollow hair. Their hair is hollow. Doc already pointed that out in the Let's Set the Record Straight book. We don't got hollow hair. That's how you tell the difference between Native American. We got a lot of us got 8, 9. No, some of y'all might have 9, but y'all, if you got 9, you probably got to go back more to the Armac, the new bonds. The new bonds got the 9. And then if you got the more like we got the wavy, like the ancient Egyptian, the afar hair texture, which you can get the waves, right? That's more of the Moors mix, right? The Moors mix come in mix like after that. Hey, what you mean? What, Brown? What's your question? Drop your question, Brown. We crack heads into his caps. So the original natives over here were Armax, then the Washita becomes the next tribe. And then, like I say, Hoshin mix in, then you create all these other tribes like Chumash, the Chickasaw. You can see they got Asian features. The Mexicans are and the Aztecs, our brothers and sisters, our La Familia, the brown seed, right? Which is us too. The Mexicans are Nubians. Don't get it twisted. Now that's different. I can get into it's like 3 or 4 different species because of the mix with the Spaniards and everybody else coming in. But the original Aztec Native Americans are mixed between the Washita or the Armax and Hoshin. That's who they are. They us still, just our children. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Yeah, so the people they always show you these American Indians in the movies. They show you and when they even Geronimo, if you go look at Geronimo from the Apache, that he was part of the during the war. He was fighting against these invaders on the land during the war. Geronimo from the Apaches in Texas. Geronimo even had dark skin. He had dark skin, dark hair, because we had mixed in with like I say, with the straight hair Moors, but he had Asian features too, because we had mixed in with Hoshin. All right, so the mixing with Afros, they go back farther. They were actually the Mexican with Afros. They really don't got Asian features. It's some down in South America. You go down there, you'll see that some of these people that saying is Mexicans or Colombians, they don't got Asian features. You're like, damn, what? So who they are? Okay, so a long time ago, and this is still to be updated because it's just based on what we came up with so far. That the Sands people, because we're looking at hair texture, and we still ain't really made a good distinction of where these people come from. But I'm thinking based on my genetical research is that these people got some Sands man in them, because the Sands man was like the Sands man, the Twa man. These are the 4 original species that the gene pool, right? Let me give you a gene pool first. The gene pool is the first people that was here, and they even got took to some more other planets, and we got a tape coming out about that. They were called a Twa man, the Twa man, the Bantu. I mean, not the Bantu, the Twa man, the Banka. They call them the Banka people, and the Pygmies. Right? They were one of the groups, and they were little short people, like 4'5", right? Then there was another group that was a genetical engineered species that were upgraded from the Homo sapiens to Homo erectus, and they became known as the Enocytes. They were the Sandsmans. The Sandsmans in South Africa. They have the real tight, nappy, woolly hair. You can go pull them up, right? So you look, keep in mind about hair texture. The 9 ether, the 7, the 8, the hair texture is the connection, right? Keep in mind about the hair texture. Then you got another group who came down off of Nubaru, who were from Orion. They actually were Riskians, part of the Riskian evacuation. They actually left Riz and then went to Orion, and then they came to Earth. And they a different group. They called the Watusis. They were black, like my shirt, and tall niggas. They can be classified as they really won the Moors, but they can be classified in that same. They mix with these beings, these dark-skinned beings, because they weren't called Moors until they landed in Chaldea. They were Etruscans, they were Agigis, they were Martians, right? Lumerians, because Mars was called Lamu, right? Uh, uh, so they had different names for them. Centaurians is another name. They actually came from the Centaurian star system. These particular group, and they were actually working with the analogies to mine gold and things. It's like this. I'm gonna tell you what happened, and I know I'm all over the place. But how these different species became known as the 300 Gigis, how these different species got on Nubaru is like this. If you go to a job, a cruise, if you go, they got these big ass cruise ships, right? And that's what Nubaru is, a big ass cruise ship. But it doubles as like a command station, police station, government center type thing, right? Like a Pentagon type thing, right? Like the Pentagon, right? Imagine a Pentagon that was floating out of space. Put it like this, okay? That's what Nubaru is, right? Okay. I also imagine in your mind a cruise ship, right? Now on these cruise ships, you can go fill out an application, and then you can be employed to have a job on there as a cook, or as a got cleaning guy, as a mechanic to do repair the ship as it break down, or other jobs they may have as docking, whatever the case may be, right? Okay, so a lot of these guys who are gigis, they apply for jobs on Nubaru, right? And so some of the jobs were mining. A lot of the jobs were mining jobs, because you got mining jobs. A new Riz Tech employ a lot of different type of species around the galaxy. It don't just employ Rizkians, because it got more. It's just like Walmart. Riz Tech just like Walmart. It has different. Locations in different parts of the galaxy, so it employs all different races, just like Walmart employs Mexicans, Chinese, everybody, blacks, everybody, right? And I know y'all like the word black, but let's hear it out here, right? So y'all know what we're talking about. Y'all know what the conversation is, right? So it's the same thing like that. Riz Tech employs different species. So these guys sort of like fill out an application to get employed to be miner workers, to dig gold or other minerals. And that's how they got stationed on Mars. Okay. And so Nubaru is like a big ass cruise ship or a big ass place where you can get employed at. And that's how these guys end up getting here, and mixing in with these guys. We're trying to go about 1:30, man. See, we already at 1:30. We're gonna be coming back again though. This is the quarter. That would be interesting conversation. Says Mars is a dry planet. Yeah, Mars is a dry planet, but the beings that live there, they can survive there on a planet because they were born there. So it's like this: when you're born into a certain type of environment, your genetics automatically adapt to the environment. It's like this: when you're born as a Chinese and your parents speak Chinese to you, you're gonna grow up speaking Chinese. When you're born over here, if you grow up and your parents speak English, you're gonna grow up speaking English. Now, if your parents speak more than one language and they speak in more than one language, you're gonna grow up speaking more than one language. So it's like wherever you born at, your body, your whole adaptation as you grow is conducive to that particular planet or whatever. So like a person from Earth will have to go to Mars and live in certain type of biospheres, or they would have to be calibrated to a certain frequency in order to survive on Mars. They couldn't just go and survive on Mars straight up, right? So it's like that part. But Mars' atmosphere is breathable, but it'd be poisonous to just go straight up over there, because the carbon dioxide level is too high for normal humans. Where these beings is born and they have evoluted over thousands of years is to adapt to their environment, and they look just like us. They look just like humans, because the beings on Mars are left over from the Atom Project, from the anarchies during a experiment upgrading the humans, the Homo erectus. And it took them about 600 years. Mother Ninti, Inky, Tahuti, Damn Kina. I think Ariska Gill and Nergal got involved, and the Murdoch got involved as well. I think on the Adamant project, and it took him like 600 years. But Inky was one of the main leaders of the project because he was already experimenting with these Homo erectus in the cave and the Abzu, trying to upgrade them. He had created a bipedal type species that he could kind of like give commands. They were called Inky dudes, right? Inky dudes, and Inky was trying to get them to do, he wanted them to dig or carry this, do this, right? He had them doing like that, and then they ended up shipping some of these guys to other galaxies too, to the Cyrus galaxy. After they got genetically engineered, they became known as the Sasquatch, and this and that, right? And even some of the avatars, you got to keep in mind these anarchies are etheric, and Newton really ethereal beings. The images that we show you are avatars that they use, and they make these avatars from different species. So they might take saggy these different species to make a physical vessel, because to operate on a certain frequency, you need a vessel, you need a physical vessel. What was his name? Oh yeah, this guy's supposed to be coming to the queen. Yeah, so yeah, I'm about to really get off, y'all. We're gonna hit y'all back. If you want to show us some love on the Cash App, it's the Young Elder. If you want to get those 8 books by the Young Elder, it's $40 Cash App, $40 to the Cash App. If you send 60, I think we're gonna by Friday Monday we'll have those other 5 books in PDF form, and we'll be able to send those books right over to you on the other 5 books. So we'll send you 8 right now and 5 over later. Like I say, if you just want to get get the 8 right now, you just send a $40 donation free will offer to the Cash App, and leave your emails in the link, and we'll send over that email to you. All right, so peace and love and harmony and divine love. We out. Wadu.